Okay, welcome to a video on image file formats and image processing. And this is the first in a series of videos. In this video, we're going to learn about the PPM Image Format, as well as a tool called GIMP that is a great way for doing image manipulation. GIMP stands for GNU, or GNU Image Manipulation Program. It's completely free, and you can download it at gimp.org. It runs on Mac, Linux, and Windows. So you're going to want to download that as soon as possible so you can follow along in the videos or work with it after you watch the videos. Okay, so what I'm going to do here in GIMP, I'm going to do a File New, and that brings up the File New Image dialog box. I'm going to create an image 5 by 1, a very small image. Okay, so now I'm going to zoom in on this image to 1100% its size. You can see how small it is. It's 1 pixel tall and 5 pixels wide, and those pixels are zoomed in 1,000. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick a color, and I'm going to click on this and make sure the color that I have is pure red, 100% red, 0% green, and 0% blue. So it's a pure red pixel. Then I'm going to make sure that I'm using the pencil tool here. It's important that you choose pencil. And then when I choose pencil, I'm going to make sure the size is 1 and the spacing is 1. So that ensures that it'll just do 1 pixel of drawing. What I'm going to do now with my pencils, I'm going to come over here and I'm just going to draw a red pixel at the very first pixel. Okay, it's a very simple image. It's 5 pixels wide, 1 pixel tall. The first pixel is red and the remaining pixels appear to be black, although it's some shade of black, I suspect. All right, now we have to export it. So I'm going to go to the File menu and choose Export As, and we're going to give it a name. I'm going to call it test.ppm, and if you don't have .ppm, make sure you put a .ppm there. And that is a text-based image format that we'll be using. And the nice thing about this is you can open it up in a text editor and see what it has, and you can actually change the text editor to change the colors and number of pixels and so on. And this is great because then you can write programs that do image processing really easily because it's just a text-based file. All right, I'm going to save this in my temporary folder here, and I'm going to do export. And make sure you choose ASCII for the data formatting. That's important. We'll choose export. So now it's storing it as ASCII text. Okay, so here's my image file, and if I double click on this, it'll open in my default image viewer. If I zoom in, you can see there it is. It is in fact an image. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to change the extension to .txt so that it'll be treated like a text file. And I'm going to open it up in my text editor. Okay, you can use Notepad on Windows for this. And let's take a look at the format of this PPM. 1, 2, 3. The first 4 lines here are the header. And all PPM files have to have a header like this. It should always be 4 lines long. The first line specifies the version of the file. P3 is fine. That's what you should put when you create your PPM files. This is a comment line. You can put whatever you want here. As long as it starts with a £, the rest is ignored. The next line contains the width and height of this image, and you can see it's a width of 5 and a height of 1. And the final line of the header represents the largest value you can have for a pixel. And we're going to go from 0 to 255. So the largest value will be up 255. So this is always going to be 255. This will always be P3. This should always start with a £, and you can put whatever you want there. And then finally, this should be the width and height of the image. The remaining bits here, the remaining lines, represent the actual image. And in this case, as we know, there are 5 pixels in this image. And each pixel is made up of a red, green, and blue value. So here is the first pixel. The first pixel, the red value is 255, the brightest red you can get. And the remaining green and blues are 0, so there'll be no green or blue values. This will be just entirely 1 red pixel, and that's what we had. The next pixel here is made up of these 3 values, in which the red is 38, and the green and blue is just 1 and 1. So these are very dark pixels, okay? and it's not quite black. Black would be 0, 0, 0, but the color that GIMP gave us by default for that background was nearly black. Okay, kind of a reddish black, but very, very dark. Here's the next pixel, pixel number 3, which is also that black, close to black. This 4th pixel, which is close to black, and this 5th pixel, which is close to black. So this is lovely. You can open it up and see this actual image. Now we're going to change it. Let's make the second to last pixel a green value. So no red, the brightest green we can have, and no blue. Okay, I'm going to save that now, and our 4th pixel should now be green. Okay, I'll close this, and we're not going to see that because it's treating it like a text file. But if we change this to a PPM, and then we open it up in my default image viewer and zoom in so we can see it, sure enough, there's that green pixel that I added. Okay, let's do one more thing quickly. Let's just add another row of pixels. So we're going to change this to text again. Let's close this. Change this to a text file and open it up in my text editor. And let's add a whole nother row. So remember, this is the header. This is my row of 5 pixels. Let's add 5 more. The first one's going to be black. So we'll do 0. Actually, let's make it a blue pixel. So 0, 0, 255. Red is 0, green is 0, and blue is fully bright. Let's add another blue. That's our second one. Another blue. That's our third one. Another blue. That's our 4th one. And one more for the 5th, but let's make this 5th one white. So it's 255 for all 3 colors. Okay, so once again, we've added a blue, a blue, a blue, and a blue, and then a white. Let's save this. But remember, we added another row. So it's very easy to forget. If you add a row, you've got to change the size up here in the header. It's now going to be a 5x2 image. Let's close it, give it a PPM extension, and let's open it up in my default image viewer, zoom in, and there's that next row. Pretty cool. So now that we can create images in a text-based format, we can now do image processing by reading and writing these texts from our programs, and we'll see some future videos here about some really cool things you can do. Cheers.